maybe 5 years ago, called The Failed Apprentice. All these stories I wrote, by the way, before there was AI. I mean, I don't know if that matters, but there you go. So anyways, I wrote this about 5 years ago, something like that, 6 years ago. A story called The Failed Apprentice. But Dad, why do I have to clean my room when the magic broom can just do it all for me anyways? Why waste the time? His father, Willesley the Wise, a great and famous sorcerer of the northern province, scoffed and looked down at his son. Son, in order to learn magic, you first have to appreciate the power of the magic. Appreciate it? What does that even mean? I appreciate it. Appreciate, son, means that you recognize the true value of something and you are grateful for it. Oh my God, do you know how grateful I would be not to have to clean my room? You have no idea. No, you do not appreciate the power of the magic because you see, my boy, in order for you to cast the spell that would clean your room, you would need to do far more work and spend far more hours than it would take for you to actually go through and clean your room. Magic is not as easy and direct as you think. Only hard workers can become magicians, he said. If you can clean your room completely, from top to bottom, under the chest drawer, on top of the dresser, move everything you need to out of the way, even if it's heavy, and cleaning everything inside and out very thoroughly, you will have done 1/100th the amount of work it would take for you to summon a magical broom to do it for you. Can you clean the room physically yourself? Brent, the son, looked over his mess of a room. It made him tired just to think of cleaning all of it. No, I can't. Then I can't teach you magic. And with that, Master Willesley walked out of the room. But how can it be so difficult, thought Brent. I mean, it's just saying some words and having cool things happen. I mean, why was that so complicated? First, he just needed to take a nap and then he could think about it, which he did. His bed was not made and it was dirty, but he could sleep in it nevertheless. After a few hours, he woke up. His father was probably in the lower chambers with some of the other students. Brent always wanted to be part of his class, but he was never allowed to join. Magic was 100 times harder than cleaning this room? Impossible. But at least it was something he could do. He wasn't getting any younger, so he began. He moved some of the heavy furniture out from the walls and got the broom for the closet. Slowly but surely he went through and cleaned and dusted his room. It took him a long time, but he was able to do it after all. It took him 10 hours. That night, he approached his father. Dad, I cleaned my room. Now can you teach me magic? Excellent. That is well done. Now you must learn the power of study. If you truly want to learn magic, then you must be hardworking enough to read every last book in this library and to not pass sections you do not understand. If you do, you need to use one of these. He threw him a dictionary. If you can do that, you may possibly be strong enough to learn magic. What? The whole library? That's crazy. All those books are not even about magic. They're like fairy tales and other boring things. And I mean, nobody can read all of those. Appreciation, son. Learning real magic is about 10 times harder than it would be to read all the books on that entire shelf. Oh, jeez. Well, at least the number was going down, thought Brent. He didn't have anything else to do. Reading a single book took him almost a week to begin. But the more he used the dictionary and started learning the words, over time, he could finish a book in about 5 or 6 hours. Reading everything in the library bookshelf took him about 9 months. And even though he didn't learn anything about magic, he did learn much more about people and about the world than he ever knew before. He was starting to appreciate the world more and more now. He approached his father. Dad, I read all the books in the library and I understand them. Now can you teach me magic? Appreciation, son. In order to learn magic, you must be able to lift the woodcutter stone that is sitting in the field out by the yard by yourself, if you can. Magic is the same difficulty as you being able to do that. What? But I'm just a boy. That boulder of rock is probably 200 pounds. I can barely lift my own shoes. And I don't see any other students lifting any boulders. You've got to be kidding me. Stop, said Wilsley. If you truly wish to learn magic, you will do it. And he walked off. Brent's shoulders slouched. There was no way he would ever be able to do that. He went to take a nap again. But at least he kept his room clean. And when he woke, he got up and went to the woodcutter's yard. The rock was huge. He tried to lift it, but he could not budge it. He tried as hard as he possibly could, and nothing. He decided he would try to lift other heavy things, like swords and axes. But he began with daggers and then lifted bigger stones and rocks. And over the next 3 years, he kept building his strength more and more. One could see a noticeable difference in how he looked. He was strong now. Finally, he decided to try it again. He walked up to the woodcutter's stone and squatted down. With all his strength and with all his might, he put his shoulders into the boulder and lifted it up off the ground for just a second. He never noticed, but Master Wilsley had been standing in the side entrance of the Tower of Magic, watching him. Very good, boy. That is the strength, and that is the difficulty of learning true magic. You will need that much power to learn it. But why aren't the other students you teach so strong? They're not even close to my physical strength. Because they are strong in mind. Tell me, boy, why were you able to lift that rock? Did it lift by accident? Brent looked at the rock. Well, I wanted to lift it really, really strongly. I wanted to carry it. Right. You intended to lift it. You decided you would, and then you did. Real magic is no different. You must intend for things to happen, and then they do. It would seem you are strong of mind after all. Why don't you come with me, my boy? I have a class to teach, and you are now invited. Brent looked at his father, and then looked back to the stone once again. Intention, huh? He now had a true appreciation for magic. Okay, the end. That was one of my favorite stories that I wrote. But I have like 200 more. Okay, well, I can't tell how many people are on the live. It looks like just 2 maybe. But that's okay. I'm gonna do one more story here.